right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get started, and I just want to welcome everybody to our inaugural Connected Scholars class by Brothers Restoring Urban Hope. Yeah, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. We do have some special guests here today. I want to give a shout out to any of our board members that are here today. If you're a board member, if you'll please stand up. If you're a board member, please stand up. That was Caitlin Hazel. She served with us as a volunteer and board member for a long time now. And this is our outgoing president, Hoyt Bynum. He's been with us for all of 16 years. So we want to thank both of you all for your service. We also have our community engagement director, Daniel Cooper. He's here tonight. Then we have special guests and the man of the hour, Ben Hall, the great Ben Hall. I got to give a shout out to our camera crew, Smith Elite Photography. They always show up for us. They've covered our events for a long time to make sure that we have press and we leave a digital footprint and let folks know that we are out here doing the work. So we thank y'all for capturing those moments. We also have our video crew, Antonio McClintock and his wife, and they are, where are they at? There he is. So I want to thank both of you all for your service. I went to school with these folks, and they've always served. They served us at the Juneteenth forum. She did a beautiful poem, beautiful poem. So I just want to thank you all, and you all have always answered the call, so I want to appreciate y'all for putting this video together for us. I'd also like to thank our sponsors at the Spartanburg County Foundation. Is the reason why we're here today, here at the City Range. We're able to gift our kids as we promised. We're able to present a great quality program for our youth, but we can't do that without funding. And I know Spartanburg County Foundation isn't here tonight, but I do want to make note that they're the reason why this happens. And we're not, stuck in somebody's basement or something, So we thank them. We also want to thank all the parents that are here today. If you're a parent, stand up, please. You're parents of our scholars. Now I want y'all to hear me clear when I say this. Your role is so important because we put out programs year in and year out, and it does not work unless the parent makes sure that their youth are actually showing up and participating. If we don't have the parents buy in, this program doesn't work. It's fine, y'all good, y'all good. So go ahead, Tito, you good. So I just want to thank all the parents because I know it's tough because we met on Saturdays. And when you think about Saturdays, kids can do anything on Saturdays. They can be playing the game, they can hang out with their friends, they can be doing sports, but they showed up 16 weeks consecutively on Saturdays, and I know that their parents have a lot to do with that. So I just want to thank you all. So thank our parents. A big round of applause for them. A little bit about Brothers Restoring Urban Hope. We are a youth mentoring program and our primary mission is to restore the urban community through group mentorship. And I pause on that because I want y'all to understand that we are a group mentoring organization. We invite all volunteers in. We don't just do one-on-one. We had just over the years, we've had over 300 different volunteers come through to spend time with our youth. And they can attest to that. They've seen them at Spartanburg Methodist College. They've seen them at the different schools throughout Spartanburg County. We are a group mentoring organization that focuses on group mentoring, leadership training, and spiritual guidance. And that spiritual guidance is really huge for us also. Myself and Cleavon Boyd, if you'll stand up, Cleve. He's one of the he's the co-founder of Brothers Restoring Urban Hope. We founded Brothers Restoring Urban Hope while we were in college, and that's why this program is so important to us, the Connected Scholars Program, because when we started this program, we were your age, Austin. We were your age, Naya. We started this program when we were in college, trying to figure out what we wanted to do at the next level. And now 16 years in, here we are. We've served over 20,000 youth here in Spartanburg County, 20,000 youth here in Spartanburg County. But it all starts with relationship building. It all starts with maturity and knowing your why and showing up and being present. And that's all we preach day in and day out. I thank you for being here today, Cleve. Appreciate it. I mean, I remember when we were doing overachievers with 15 kids. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it goes back that far. I do want to give an opportunity at this point. I want to say something about this program and the two young men that ran this program. All 16 weeks, gave up there every Saturday, helped coordinate it. We met every Thursday, woke up on Saturday mornings, debriefed on Saturday nights, then went out and did community service on behalf of bruh. I want to give a big shout out, stand up Justin Kelly and Trey Trower, our program coordinators, and our director of programs, Justin Kelly. So I just want to thank you. I want to thank you guys for your service. And at this time, we're going to have some words from each of them to our scholars. If you'll come up, Trey. You first, Trey.
And this is a huge moment. But it's not about me. But the first thing I want to do is give honor to God. Because without him, none of us would be here. These kids mean so much to me. Waking up on Saturday and logging in and seeing those names, which became relationships, as Vic said. Man, I don't take that lightly. I remember what it was like to be that age. You know, you're impressionable, you're going through things, you're growing, you're trying to figure out where you are, who you are. And the fact that each of y'all took time out to share with us and grow with us each week means so much. I want to thank Vic, thank Justin for bearing with me. I'm kind of the oddball of the group, if you will. Vic knows it. I'm not afraid to own it. But you know, through our fellowship and through our brotherhood, I've grown so much as a man. And again, that's something that is invaluable to me. Something that you can't teach, something you can't buy. So I appreciate that. But to these kids, man, I just want to say, be bold. Be intentional, and be loud. The opposition is going to be loud. The challenges are going to be never ending. But if you make the decision that you are going to go forward in your vision, if you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. And so I just want to encourage each and every one of you, no matter what happens, no matter who says no, no matter who doesn't support you, because there's going to be some times that you're doing your endeavors and doing your dreams, and you're gonna look around and it's not the people that you expected to be there with you. But don't get discouraged, because trust me, just like I said, man, God is the root of everything. He will make sure that you are equipped to go forward in your journey and do his will. So again, I'm grateful for this opportunity to be here with y'all. I don't take it lightly. It's something that, again, it's an honor. And just encouraging each and every one of y'all in your individual endeavors, and just keep God first. And again, there's nothing you can't achieve. Thank you.
He cares about the youth, and he had a task in front of him. We just rolled this curriculum out this year for the first time, and I told him, I said, man, look, I'm gonna be out doing some other stuff, making sure that we have money to keep these programs going. I need you to make sure that these kids have a program every Saturday. And Justin took it on. Now, this is a full-time working man and part-time with Bruh Mentor, but he took it on, and he was there every Saturday, sometimes coming out of work, making it happen, sometimes on vacation, making it happen. Thank you so much, Justin. I see the tears coming down your eyes, because I know where your heart is. So I'm gonna give him a chance to take the mic and talk to him.
Guys, there's no time like the present. Guys, for us to be convening here is a blessing. So make sure every morning you wake up, you give thanks to God. Scholars, parents, bro mentor. This is a team. It wouldn't happen without you. As we can look back over the time, from the planning phase, through the execution phase, through the fundraising, we all have each shared a memory, something that you were able to take away. This program built you up individually. These are tools for you to take out into society. We're convening here today for you. And I want you to understand, just like Brother Ben was saying here at the table earlier, he wasn't even about college. He'll share more of his testimony, but guys, I just thank you for the effort, week in, week out. We all know the cliche of team, together everyone achieves more, but let's change that to achieve. We've done it. Let's keep going. We're gonna need you. We're gonna need you. Your effort, your support is how we were able to launch this into what our vision is. So continue to partake in community efforts, give back in a manner that is respected, and watch it follows you. Someone else will come behind you and do the same. Thank you. I love you. Let's get going again. It's 2021.
I'm going to have introduction of one of our scholars, Adrian.
Amen.
Adrian was solid. When I tell you she was solid, she's one of our older scholars, and I was for sure, after the first time she came to that first class, I said, she ain't coming back. I said, because, I mean, it wasn't about the curriculum, but sometimes when you put older youth in a classroom with younger youth, they kind of feel the sense that I'm above this, but she didn't do that. She worked her tail off, she listened, she took everything that we taught her and she applied it. We talked to her about relationships, she has her own business. We talked to her about developing relationships, and I'm not even gonna steal your thunder because I know you're probably gonna talk about it, but I will say this. It's one thing to sit in a class, it's another thing to take out of that class and apply it to life. Right. And that's what she did. And I just want to give her an opportunity to come up here and tell her testimony. And if you don't hear anything else out of today, regardless of what you hear from us, hear it from the hearts of somebody who actually went through the class. Adrian, come on up. Adrian.
So, my name is Adrian Mallory. I'm the daughter of Douglas and Joyce Mallory. I am a two-time graduate of Winthrop University, and I currently, I guess you could say, work 2 jobs and also own 2 businesses. So I do a whole lot. Sometimes I feel like I be doing too much. But I'm gonna backtrack a little bit because when I first reached out to Trey about the program, it was my intention to kind of sit and observe. And I quickly learned that you cannot show up to a table and expect to take without giving anything. And you know, I didn't say this, but I did come in big-headed and full of pride because in my mind, I've been mentoring kids since I was 15. I'm 27 years old now. I got 2 degrees. Why are you giving me homework? So I hung that up in 2017. I thought I was done. So that was my mindset coming in. But then I also realized too, if you are going to be a mentor, being a mentor is about being a bridge to help people get from where they are to where they want to be. And how can you do that if you haven't done it yourself? I think many times you have to identify your mentors based on the fruit that they carry. And if I hadn't gone through this program the way that I did, I can't share my testimony about how much it benefited me. So, for example, some of the things that took place after I started this program, I moved out of my parents' house for the very first time. I got a new job. I relaunched a business and was able to increase my monthly income by 50%.
Come on now.
And I'm not going to say that this is because of this program, but I will say that there's a lot of correlation between what I learned and what I applied.
Come on now.
And I gained so much information. I remember when we had the golf tournament, the guys that I was on the team with, all of them younger, and every last one of them talked the most trash. So we had that little running joke going there, but they would take over my golf from me because I'm going to network, because that's the purpose of us being there. That was our assignment. And I didn't want to waste time. So for me, I'm 27, almost 28. So showing up to that event is like, I don't have any more time to waste. The advantage that you have is that this information that you got through this program, I didn't learn after getting 2 degrees. I went through 6 years of college, and not one class taught me about how to network and how to identify a mentor in my community. So being able to do that now is like, okay, there's no more time to waste. And in everything that I learned, I was actually able to apply something and scratch a huge thing off of visions that I had 4 and 2 years ago. One of which was to host an event for men that really focuses on them becoming all that God created them to be. And I know that's strange for me being a woman, having that passion, but it is what it is. I dream about it. I think about it all day. And it's really what floods my life. So I was able to do that with the help of Big Ben on January 1st. And it was really cool to see. And I told him, I said, look, event coordinating is not my thing. But a week later, I received an email from some financial advisors in Greenville asking me to coordinate their Black Wealth Summit.
Wow.
So, I'm not gonna lie, it took me 16 hours to respond to the email because I said my mama, my daddy, and Big Ben are the only people that can get this out of me. But I think you can't be stingy with what you've gained.
Amen.
And I also understand, like, God is not wasteful. There are so many skills and talents and gifts that I've learned and developed over the years that prepared me for where I am now. And so much of that came through people like you have in this room. So please take advantage of what you have your hands on. Tell people about it. This has been such an amazing experience for me. And I think when you get something good, you have an obligation to share that with other people. So thank you to my brothers/uncles. I know me and Trey are close in age. I don't think he realized how old I was.
Did not.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm 28 and y'all gave me homework. But still a little salty about that, but it was so beneficial. So I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for stretching me and being gracious with me. Because I remember I got spicy with you about something one time. And you talked me down. You talked me down off the cliff. Because it was one of those high and mighty things. So you just kind of have to humble yourself down and be willing to learn from people. So the connections have been amazing. Take advantage of it and don't wait until you're 27. Because you don't know how much time you have left.
Amen.
And that's not to put fear in you, but to teach you to number your days.
Yeah.
Understand, like, we all have an appointed time, but there is so much that you can do right now. And the information that you have gained, there is no amount of money you can put on that. So I love you.
But Jalen Maxton, Jalen came to us, and he was starting his first year of college, actually. So while he was doing college classes, he was still logging in on Saturdays. But he wants to be, he wants to get into the engineering field, and we were on the part of our curriculum where we were talking about getting affiliated with folks that are actually in your field. Don't waste time spending time over here. They're not in your field. Really try to, get on LinkedIn. I think it was the LinkedIn portion of the program. He created a LinkedIn, and he started getting all these different folks following him, and he came in, testified to it. But we had an opportunity for him to join an engineering aviation program. And not only did he show up to Scholars, but he also went to his aviation program, and now he has his certificate in aviation. So give him a hand, y'all. I just say that to say that it's about connections, because when I called him, his first thing was, Vic, I don't write essays really well. I said, write it from your heart. They ain't gonna turn it down, bro. Write it from your heart. He called me that afternoon. He said, Vic, I turned it in. Have you heard anything from him? I said, I haven't heard anything. I said, but God got it. Don't worry about it. I told you to write from your heart. They called me. They said, tell him to check his emails. He went back and he said, oh, it's there. He got accepted into the program. He has a mentor that actually gave them his number and said, hey, we have some opportunities for you. It's up to you to take advantage of those opportunities.
I wasn't planning for this, so I ain't really know what to say, but program, it gave me a chance to, try different things. Teen Saturday morning is not a thing you do, wake up 10 o'clock in the morning to join the call. But it gave me, with my parents' help, it gave me something to put more to the table, to be a better person, Program helped me with, like you said, with the aviation program. Aviation is not anything that I ever thought I would ever do. But when I joined it, it was something I loved. Yeah. I love continue to come on every Sunday to learn different things, starting from changing oil in a plane, ending up to me flying a plane.
Come on now. Yeah. Black influence right here.
Flying a plane. First year in college, a little nervous. Getting older, finna be old, But I just want to thank y'all. Y'all gave me the opportunity to meet new people, to do new things. Without y'all, I wouldn't be in many places right now. I really appreciate that.
Proud of you.
Pastor, you come up and lead us in prayer.
Listen, let us bow our heads in prayer. Heavenly Father God, we come before you now to give you praise, glory, and honor. God, we thank you for this day that you have given us. And God, let us rejoice and be glad in it. God, we just thank you for this opportunity of fellowship, God. We thank you for these young people who have went through this curriculum, this program, amen, to continue to better themselves and continue to position themselves for your purpose and destiny. God, we thank you right now for not only for the students, God, the young people, but for their parents and their mentors and the community leaders. God, we just pray right now for Brother Mentor. We pray right now for the staff and Brother Victor and everybody who has a part of this organization. And right now, God, we ask that you bless this food for the nourishment of our body. In Christ's name we do pray. Amen.
Come on up. Austin, we've been mentoring Austin for a little minute now. Come on up. He's out of Spartanburg Methodist College, but he's at USC now. He's at USC now, and Austin done came a long way. When I saw him on campus, man, he was calling himself Wavy, and I was like, nah, you Austin Hamilton, you know what I mean? But you know what? When we mentored Austin, he was just on campus hanging out. And when I say hanging out, like literally he was on campus, and I'm not saying he wasn't doing his work, and he wasn't, but he didn't have his purpose. And when we met with Austin, he really found his purpose. He served as a student ambassador for the college, kept a 3.0 while he did that. He served on numerous internships through the summer and through the fall. He stayed in our office asking us over and over what should he be doing. And he's a teachable kid. So even after he graduated SMC, he's at USC now, he still came back and went through the program all the way from Columbia. And I want to thank his mom for bringing him all the way out here today. Thank you.
Hey, how y'all doing? Good evening. As y'all can see, Victor blindsided me again. He always do this. I did not prepare a speech today. Thank you a lot, Vic. I just want to say, I'll make this real brief. With the program that Victor put me through, I just want to say that now that I'm at USC, I'm ready to go off. I'm ready to network. I'm ready to turn up. And Victor, I just want to say thank you for teaching me everything. All the homework y'all taught us to do, I did every last one. I just want to say thank you. And I'm just ready to get out there. I'm ready to build my own team like Vic did. And I'm just ready to be successful and take care of my family and my mama most definitely. Yes. So thank you, Vic.
Thank you. We are going to introduce our keynote speaker for tonight, Mr. Ben Hall. But before I get started, let me give a shout out to Junior Reed, aka Frederick, aka Son of Ice. He set up he set up our speaker and our sound system today. Look him up, The Sound of Learning under Son of Ice. Thank you so much for setting up our sound system. He was in here working hard earlier today. I came in, I was like, hey man, we're just not gonna use it. He said, no, I got it, I finally got it working. So I thank you for that. Appreciate it. Give him a hand, y'all. But at this time, we're going to introduce our keynote speaker, Ben Hall. A lot of you may know Ben Hall. Some of you younger folks may not know Ben Hall. But Ben Hall is a hometown hero. And not only did he play ball at Burns and was an All-American tight end, the #1 tight end in the area, but he also went and played at Clemson University and had a stellar NFL career with numerous teams. But that is not why he's our hometown hero, and he'll tell you he doesn't even like talking football. He's our hometown hero because he gives back. And when I say he gives back, I have been working with Ben all of probably maybe 3 or 4 years now. And every time we've called on him for Bro Mentor, whether it's to bake cupcakes, and we have them at our fundraising events, whether it's to speak to our youth, or whether it's just to show up and support, he's done it, and he's done it for free. So I was excited tonight that we had a budget for a keynote speaker, because we were able to honor Ben and be able to put a little money in his pocket, which he didn't even want to accept. But we were excited to be able to give back to Ben tonight, but I promise you, he's worth every dollar. And I don't want to steal his story, because when you're up here, I'm telling you, one day we're not going to be able to hear Ben speak for free. Well, I'm going to say for what we paid him, and definitely not for free, because he's just that good. And when I say he's good, he has a story that resonates with every youth. He has a story. And I'm not gonna hold it up anymore. Ben, come on up, man. Come on up. Give Ben a hand. Thank you, Ben.
Oh, man, bro. You done put it on big. I mean, big.
I know what I saw.
Jesus. Man, first of all, thank you so much for having me, man. It's always an honor, a true honor and a privilege to be here. And I'm not saying that you say that to sound cute. I'm telling you, I walk that walk. Meaning, I'm gonna tell you how I got here, and then you may not believe it. He kind of told you I bake cupcakes. And do I look like I bake cupcakes? That's what I do for a living. I share a quick story. I know I don't have a lot of time, so y'all bear with me. Hopefully I'm not rushing anything or trying to be too fast. So please bear with me. But I'm indebted to my community. What started is I grew up young kid, just like anybody else. No sympathy story, but did not have my father, did not know him, still don't know him, haven't met him. So you can imagine just being a young kid, you grew up, you have those thoughts, like you have to go through puberty, you go through those changes, and you want to know, you want to answer some questions, and all you got is some uncles that may not be on the right track, so you could easily head down the wrong road real fast. So I know God was covering me even as a young kid, and I always say I thank God for thinking of me even at the times I was not thinking of him. And so it changed, the moment it changed my life was when I was in the 8th grade going to the 9th grade. And some teachers and coaches took it upon themselves to raise some money for me, not for me, but to send me to this summer camp. It was a Citadel summer camp. I wasn't a bad kid, but like I said, I was lacking structure. I didn't have a father in the house showing me things of how to be a man, how to do chores, how to just structure, I call it. And that's what that camp gave me and changed my life. And then that's when God, I really started to understand. I didn't know at the time, but like a lot of you have said and known God was setting you up, like, you know, me and Justin was talking about. I call it being thrown in the fire. That's what was happening to me. You take a sword, anything that's beautiful that we admire, from jewelry to diamonds to an ice sculpture, everything has to get chiseled off. Everything has to go through its own process before it gets molded into what it really is. Before you can call it beautiful, it probably was once the ugliest thing you laid eyes on, if you think about it. And I think back on my life, and when I went to high school, I was thrown on the varsity football team, I was thrown on the varsity basketball team, and I know you may be thinking that's a good thing. I'm like, no, I wanted to play with my boys. Like, why you gotta take me from my boys? I want to play with my boys. So I was actually mad and frustrated that I was good and being thrown into the fire, as I call it. I learned how to swim by being kicked in the pool. I did not, you know, that's growing up with two older sisters. Anybody can relate. But those were the things that got me prepared for life, were being thrown in the fire. And I didn't understand it at the time. And as Vic mentioned, I came out of high school, the #1 tight end in the country, but here's the thing, I did not know it. I didn't even know I was the #1 tight end in the United States. I'm getting on private planes after high school, they like, what you want to eat? I'm like, Oreos and milk, you know? So I'm going on all these visits. Just imagine being a young kid. Every school in the country wants you, and you're getting flying out to all these places, and they're talking to you about school and how they want you to play on their team and all this stuff, but you have nobody with you, no parent. My mother worked 2 and 3 jobs. My father wasn't there. So you're just this young kid with all this opportunity, but you don't even value it because you're like, who am I? You know, you're thinking to yourself, all I want to do is get a job and help my mom with these bills. Right. I'm not thinking about college. I'm not thinking about all this glory that God had for me. I was in no shape, form, or fashion wanting to accept it. Right. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me was going to college. I ended up going to Clemson University, the Clemson University, let me say that. I know we just lost, but hey, we got national championships for days. Oh, Lord. I'm looking at these masks, I'm getting seasick here. Y'all pray for me. But I did learn something in high school. I want to share that real quick that thrusted me into what I call, leadership without any rewards. Playing on the football team, I did have a cocky moment where I thought I was good and I thought I deserved an award. Let me tell you about that. So I call it the t-shirt story. I was the best player on the team, so they say. So every night I'm going out there playing hard, doing my thing, and my high school coach would give out these t-shirts after every game for the player of the game. So obviously I'm doing my thing, and after the high school game, he would throw the shirt over my head and give it to somebody else. So imagine week after week after week goes by, and you don't get this shirt, but you know for a fact you are the best player on the team. When you get frustrated, you be mad, right? Sure. So I'm going out there one time, I made it a point. It was against Orangeburg Wilkinson. And I made it a point that I'm about to destroy these boys. I'm getting me a t-shirt. I don't care nothing about nothing else. I want a t-shirt. Whoever was in my way, sorry brother, I got to get this t-shirt. So I got like 3 catches for 100-something yards, 3 touchdowns. Every time they give me the ball, I scored. That's how bad I wanted that t-shirt. So after the game, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting my t-shirt. Get to the meeting, hey, play the game. This time the t-shirt goes over my head in slow motion. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He must have saw the frustration on my face, and I'm pretty sure he knew what he was doing and set me up for this. He said, Deuce, I wore number 2. He said, Deuce, I know you're probably wondering why you haven't received your t-shirt, why you haven't received player of the game. And I'm like, hallelujah, somebody talk to me. Yes, please explain. It was the best thing he could have ever did for me. He said, Deuce, you're going out there every Friday night doing what you are supposed to do. I'm gonna say it one more time. He said, Deuce, you're going out there every Friday night doing what you are supposed to do. Meaning he had raised the bar for me so high that it wasn't even about no awards no more. He said, that's what you're supposed to do every game, regardless if somebody's giving you an award or a t-shirt or anything. And that thrusted me in life like you wouldn't believe. Because I stopped looking for anybody. It was so bad that, like I said, I'm the #1 tight end in the country and do not know it. Because I'm not looking for anything no more. I'm a freshman All-American in Clemson. I do not know it. They literally had to come tell me. Those are the type of things, but I'm doing things in life such as serving other people. I realized I had a gift to serve people. And imagine when you can serve people and you ain't looking for nothing in return. Imagine what kind of life you living now. Imagine what kind of blessings are coming your way when you find out what type of life it is to live. Something that can never get old to me is serving another individual. Meaning, how can I serve you? That's why our relationship hit it off like it did, because how can I serve you, brother? I never asked you for nothing ever. It's like if you give it to me, okay, but this is who I am. So me being here is who I am. It's just my DNA. I'm just indebted to my community. I love God so much that it's like, I want to tell you how I even got to this point. To the baking the cake thing. So when I stopped playing football, I did have a brief career in the NFL with the Titans, the Cardinals. I played overseas in Europe for 2 years. So imagine this little country boy from Welford, South Carolina. I'm in Europe. They speak Dutch over there. They speak a whole nother language. The only thing I knew how to say was something to eat. Like, yo. That's all I needed to know. I didn't need to know nothing else. I mean, I'm talking to China, everybody. I'm over there just, I know how to say something to eat. And it didn't hit me till literally years later what God had shown me. Because when you're such a humble person, and like me and Hoyt was talking about, he don't want to give you everything. Like, he don't want to show you who you are, your anointing. He don't ever want you to get above yourself. So, but you know something's different about you. So I knew that about myself, that something was different about me, but I never got involved with it. So everywhere I went, from playing in Europe and all these things, I built the best relationships with people just by serving them. It wasn't even about football anymore. Like, football was the last thing on my mind. And so for me to go from the Little League to the NFL, I can honestly say I knew early that this wasn't for me. And you got plenty of kids, I'm sure, that grow up and say, man, I want to make it to the NFL. Not once did I ever speak that I want to make it to the NFL. I realized God was molding me into the person I needed to be. He was helping me build relationships. I still know people in Europe that I could call to this day simply just by how we cross paths. We laugh about it all the time because I was in a magazine in Europe. Like, how does that even happen? Like, who am I, right? So anyway, I stopped playing football. And it was time for me to figure out who I want to be and how to be. Because sometimes people think football was my thing. I was so good at it, you would be like, you did what you're supposed to do in life. Football was the last thing on my mind. So when I stopped playing, now I had a decision to make. So kids, I've been in a position where I had absolutely no clue what I was going to do with my life. But I knew for a fact I loved what? Serving people. So I tried to figure that out, and I ended up working for a Sam's Club. Like, literally, I'm just telling you my life story. I worked for a Sam's Club, and I remember going in there, and I remember serving them so good. I'm a supervisor. I go in there as a backdoor stopper. In 5 months, I'm a supervisor. In 5 more months, they want me to interview for a store manager job, right? True story. And I'm not understanding why. Well, I kind of know why now, obviously, but I'm just being who I am. And then I remember getting another job, same thing. And that's when it hit me and said, man, you built different. I said, God, I want you to use me. I want you to use me in any way you see fit. And that's when my journey started to figuring this thing out. Because I knew in order for me to serve the way I wanted to serve, I had to be a free man to do that. It wasn't that I had a problem with a job, it's actually a job was too easy for me. I'm telling you, anything you ask me to do, if you ask me to sweep this floor or clean these tables, I'm going to do it in a way that if the owner comes in, he says, Ben was in here last night. So if you learn something, kids, whatever you're doing, give the best that you can do with whatever you're doing right now. I don't care if it's cleaning your room, taking out the trash, taking a test, because what you're doing, if you don't clean that room up to the best of your ability, you think you're hurting your mom or you're hurting yourself. Why? Because you're instilling a habit that's going to stay with you later on. So I had given myself something that I couldn't even turn off. I had learned to serve people so good I couldn't even turn it off. So whenever I did whatever I did, I left an anointing on it. I left something on it that you had to understand. Ben was here. So guess what I said? It wasn't nothing against a job, but I said, what if I gave all of Ben Hall, who I am, to Ben Hall?
There you go.
What does that look like for me, right? Yeah. Now, mind you, I had football and all that stuff, but I wasn't a millionaire. The money is not what you think. I'm literally starting from scratch like anybody else. And I remember saying, God, I want you to use me. I want to be a free man. I want to serve. I remember the first time I asked my job for a day out to go serve, they said no. And I had already committed to the coach and said I'd be there. When I tell you my word is go. So imagine me having to call and say I can't make it after I told you I would be there. That's another lesson, kids. Your word is everything. Your word is your name. Your word is everything about you. When you give somebody your word, back then, you didn't sign any contracts or nothing. You say, I'm gonna be over there at 8 in the morning, cut Miss Johnson grass. You got my word. And you didn't have to think about it anymore. So that meant a lot to me. So here I am having to tell somebody else that I can't be there because my job told me no. I went to God about it. I stopped depending on man and I turned to God. And I said, God, how does this work? I got bills like anybody else, but I want to serve you. I want you to use me. And he told me the strangest thing. He said, you can make a mean banana pudding. I was sitting there, yeah. Never made it for nobody, never thought about selling it. I never made it for anybody ever. This is just something I made for myself. And he tells me, it's like he's giving me this prompt. You know how God speaks to you. Yeah. It ain't necessarily a voice, it's an intuition. It's something you can't even stop it if you try. Yes. So he said, make this banana pudding and take it to your job. So I make it, take it to the job, and people went crazy over it, right? And this one guy in particular comes back out on the work floor and he's like, man, this is the best banana pudding I ever had in my life. I mean, y'all up in my face. I'm like, dude, back up. It's clicked. Something said, sell the banana pudding. So I started sharing it. And then people that was eating the pudding said, do you bake cakes? I'm like, no, I don't bake no cakes. That's somebody's grandma, that's somebody's aunt. I don't play with that. That's what you competing with. When somebody say, make me a cake, you competing against their aunt, their grandma. No, I'm like, I ain't playing with that. That's too much. But then something said, do it. Bake cakes. And I promise you, I don't know why. Nobody in my family bakes. Nobody's ever taught me how to bake. Nobody's ever given me a recipe. Even to this day, nobody's ever helped me in the kitchen. This was a journey between me and God. And I trusted him. And I'm here to tell you, God can anoint anything. Come on now. Come on. I'm talking about anything. I don't care if you're selling hats, straw hats, whatever it is. If your purpose behind it and he gives you his word that he's going to anoint that, trust it and move forward. So that's what I did. I started baking cakes. Sooner or later, I go to my job, I clock in, he says, you can't do another day in here. And I'm thinking, I got bills. He said, you need to get out of here. It was only so strong, I got up and started shaking hands. I had just moved into a new house, just bought a car, all of this stuff, and he got me walking out of the gate. Tears in my eyes, like, what am I doing? I called my best friend crying, I'm like, man, I just quit my job. I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I go home, I count every dime in my pocket. I got $800 to my name. Every bill is on its way. Come on now. Over $2,000 worth of bills coming in. I got $800. I said, this ain't gonna work. But the strangest thing happened. I prayed. And I said, God, if this is truly what you're telling me to do, if this is the key to my freedom so I can serve you at the best of my ability, if this is it, then I submit. I will bake every cake you send my way. And I promise you, I submitted to baking. Out of all things. So hear me when I say, young folks, sometimes the thing you want to happen most may be the best thing that you never get. Come on, man. Because it's not always going to look like the way you want it to look like. I'm a grown man and I bake cakes. I'm an All-American football player and he got me baking cakes. But guess what? It was not less than a year later, I always bring this magazine with me. You see this? So this is something that I always bring. It's not to show it off. It's just to show you what faith looks like. Yeah. Go ahead. Because when you look at this magazine, it looks like I got my own shop. It looks like I'm doing well for myself. I'm struggling like you wouldn't believe. Come on, son. This was a sign from God saying, son, keep going. Keep baking. When I wanted to quit, he put me on this magazine, and we talk about the power of relationships. Something I've always took pride in was protecting my last name. Even before sports, it was like, I just want somebody to remember something good about me. So I've always shown respect. So as you move through your journeys, make sure you give respect first. Make sure you always think about your last name and what it would do for you in the future. They say a good name will give you more success and more money than a product or service ever will. And if you truly believe that, you will use that to the best of your ability, because when I talk about this magazine, it also reminds you of the power of my good name. Do you think if I had a bad name, they could have used me on this magazine? You get what I'm saying? So it was the protection and building relationships and loving on people and serving people. Even a random older lady at the grocery store, I just can't help but get the door for her. I can't help I bagged groceries when I was in high school too. And I wanted to be the #1 bagger in the state of South Carolina. This was even before football. It was always a sense of pride. It was a standard that I had with my life. When I cut my grass, I gotta get every blade down. I gotta do it. Call it a little bit of OCD, but I call it just a sense of pride. It's a standard that I've carried with me, and that's why I stress, whatever you're doing at this moment, do it at the best of your ability, because those habits will carry with you. How you do anything is how you do everything. Please don't mistake that. Don't think you can do one thing halfway and then you're just going to turn it on and do this all the way. No, that same habit is going to happen. They have a saying in the war. It's like when everything pops off, you don't turn into who you are. You don't rise to the occasion. You revert to who you are. See what I'm saying? Think about that for a second. It'll hit you. You don't rise to the occasion. You revert back to who you really are.
Yes, sir.
So if it's already in you, that's who you're going to rise to. That's why it's important to give everything to yourself right now. I have so many stories about the power of relationships and protecting your last name. It was just the other day when we spoke on the phone and I told you about a friend of mine. I didn't even know her. She called me asking for advice. I don't know her. Somebody gave her my number to ask me for advice. I gave this lady an hour and a half of my time on the phone. She was so grateful for it. 3 years later, just the other day, literally, because it's crazy that your graduating class is talking about this. I meet this lady again at the store, but I don't know it's her. She forgets her wallet. She can't pay for her food. She got to go to the car. I said, no, I got it. Pay for the meal. She looks at me a little bit longer. She asked me my name. I said, it's Ben. She said, oh my God, I remember talking to you on the phone. And she's struggling with her business. She's going through things. And I started to talk to her about the power of serving others. I said, it's so powerful that I just met you and I've already served you twice. You get where I'm going with this? Serving people is one of the most powerful things you can ever do. It will never get old to me. It's something that I love doing it, and it will bring forth anything that you wish to obtain in this life. I always tell people, please don't put limitations on God and how he can move for you. If you're looking for something, chances are it comes through people. It's not going to ever fall out of the sky. Blessings don't come out of the sky. They come through me and you. So I tell people, if you're not getting blessed, check yourself and see how you're treating people.
Come on now. Come on. Come on now.
Also understand this, please. Please understand this, kid. When he got up here, Justin, and he had tears in his eyes, man, it just made me go back to the days and nights that I was crying and didn't understand why I was baking cakes. You got to understand my position. I'm a grown man, and God is telling me to bake cakes, but I see you guys in my future. You are my why. To one day get up here and share this testimony to hopefully move somebody else's heart and get them in a position to go after what they want. God says, I will give you freedom through this cake if you trust me. So imagine how you're looking at a cake and you can't see how one cake is going to pay $2,000 worth of bills. That's not your job to figure that out. So when you got something, you got to give. Please believe in it and trust him, and he will multiply it in heaven, and it will do everything for you. Trust me.
Yes, man.
I'm a living witness.
Yes.
The blood, sweat, and tears that goes in this for these opportunities to get up here and just share it with somebody. I don't want any credit. It's my story, his glory.
Yes, sir.
Remember that. Be a testimony for God. Be a servant. Be somebody that wants to serve your community.
Yes, sir.
That's all I ever wanted to be, was somebody that my community could lean on. And God multiplied a piece of cake to a storefront with 5 employees. And it's other stuff about it that I've been with food companies that I've turned down opportunities. I always make people laugh when I say one day I'm going after Little Debbie. So I wanted to tell y'all that too. But I also want to speak boldly and say one day, my cakes, you will see Big Ben desserts in the grocery stores and in Walmarts and all that stuff. I always speak that boldly because I want you to know. Time?
You good.
Okay. I always speak that boldly because I want you to get that habit of speaking things boldly. I want you to get in the habit to know that God is your star player and he's ready to come in the game anytime you're willing to put him in. Sometimes we go our whole life and we wonder why things aren't working out. And it's like if you had God, if you had LeBron James or Michael Jordan on your team, it's like having them on the bench. Just think about that. You got the best player in the world sitting on the bench. And here you are trying to win a game without Jesus. It doesn't make sense. In the earlier that you get this, like Adrian was saying, it's like the information is the most powerful thing you can ever receive in life. It's information. But also, like Vic said, you got to apply that information. They say knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is power, not knowledge. Applied knowledge. So I get up here and serve and share my testimony in hopes that somebody their faith grows a little bit bigger tonight.
Yeah.
Understand who is your star player. Understand that you cannot lose with God on your team. It may not look like what it's supposed to look like. There was plenty of times when I wanted to throw cakes out the window, like, man, what am I doing? But he says, trust me. Now I wake up every day and when someone says, can you come and serve? I can look to my left and my right and I don't have to ask no man, can I be here today?
Come on now.
That was my fight. That was my why. That's why I fight every day for my freedom. To be able to serve because he knows that I'm at my best when I'm free. That's why he anointed his cakes. He said they pretty good, huh? But just imagine that. People are telling me, your cakes are good. This is the best cupcake I ever had. And I've never went to school. Nobody's ever taught me anything. I've never been in the kitchen with grandma. Nothing. That's proof that my work ethic with his anointing, there's nothing you can't do. So just think about that. Whatever you put your mind to, it can and will happen if you trust God, if you just grow your faith. And I always use this example. Why is the lion the king of the jungle? Somebody talk to me, real quick. Why is the lion the king of the jungle? Nobody know? You've been here before. And what else? Attitude is good? Good, almost close. I'll tell you, the lion is the king. Go ahead. Okay, you know it? Close. Close. I'll share his belief system. Think about what I'm saying. The lion is not the strongest, it's not the fastest, it's not the smartest, it's not the biggest animal. The elephant or some other animal could easily step on the lion and kill it, but it's because of the lion's attitude and his belief system. See, when you believe in God and you know that there's a higher power that's helping you, it helps your actions and your attitude swag and go a little bigger than you normally would. So if you don't believe in God, it's okay. I'm not here to pressure nobody. I'm just telling you, without him, you're going to do mediocre things. But if your belief system rises bigger, now your actions, now you take bigger risks, now you're ready to go out there and do something major because of your belief system. That's why the lion is the king of the jungle. That's why he has fear. Last thing before I get out of here, my favorite story I have to share it with you. Something that motivates me every single time I tell it because it just lets me know who I am and what I was born to do. There was a farmer who was walking through this path and he owns a chicken farm. So we got a chicken farm over here, no point, you know. And he's walking down the aisle and he finds this big old egg. And he picks up this big old egg and he takes it back to the chicken farm. And a couple of days later, the egg hatches. Anybody knows what it was? It's an eagle. So you got an eagle in a chicken farm that already don't make sense, right? So the eagle gets up and he looks around and he sees all the chickens and he says, hey man, what we eat around here? The chicken said, follow me, come on outside. And anybody ever seen chickens, you know they do this all day long, they eat and peck. So that's what the eagle starts doing, he starts acting like the chickens. Sooner or later, the eagle starts waking up the other chickens, hey man, come on outside and eat. But one day they're outside eating and this big old thing comes through the sky blotting out the sun and the eagle looks up at it and he says, man, what is that? And the chicken says, man, let me tell you about that. That is the bird of all birds. That is the king with wings. That is the Messiah of the sky. That, my friend, is an eagle. We're chickens. We belong on the ground. Shut up and eat your food. So that's what the eagle starts doing exactly what the chicken said, day in and day out. One day the eagle goes back to his nest and he doesn't wake up from his nap. The eagle died. And he died thinking he was a chicken. But the whole time, he was that thing that he saw up in the sky. He was that thing with his wings spread, tearing up the sky. That, my friend, is you.
Come on, sir.
Never forget you're an eagle.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
Don't get caught hanging around chickens.
Come on.
Always know when you were born. Love y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
And let me tell y'all a little bit about Ladarian. Ladarian is actually out of Florida. No, you're good. Yeah, he's actually out of Florida. And he's actually just got accepted to Howard University. Not only was he there every Saturday, he did every homework assignment He called every mentor that we hooked him up with. And he's taking time out of his day. When we were eating, he was eating. He listened to Ben. He listened to the whole program. Congratulations, man. We will be mailing you your certificate of graduation and a little bit of cash. But congratulations to you, and we're proud of you, man. Do work at college, man. Thank you. Good man. Our next person we want to call up, Austin Hamilton. Austin Hamilton. Have you stand right here, and we're going to get a photo.
Don't have the cheese, Austin. You know you want it.
Hold on, one here and then one there.
1, 2, 3.
Congratulations, Austin. Y'all come ahead. Our next scholar, Jalen Maxton. Our next scholar, we have Adrian Mallory.
Be crossed out for somebody.
Congratulations, baby. These next two guys, I want to give a shout out to them because they were some of our younger scholars, but they hung in there every day. I know we were having a lot of mature conversations, but y'all hung in there the best way y'all could. But y'all did tune in a lot and participate, and y'all showed up to every single one of our meetings. And I want to thank y'all, and I want to thank your mom for making, well, not for making y'all, but for signing y'all up. Well, you probably made them. But the fact of the matter is, we want to thank you, and we want to thank y'all for being a part of this program. And they said they're coming back for round 2, 3, 4, and 5 until they get old enough. Y'all come on up. Can y'all see Justin?
Okay.
All right. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Our next scholar, Noah Hazel. Noah Hazel. Come on up. Appreciate you. Y'all give them a hand. Our next graduate, Miss Nia Williams, all the way from Columbia, South Carolina. I'd like to give her a shout out. She's about to go to law school and be a lawyer. And she made as many as she could with her busy schedule, working and all, and she made sure that our younger brother showed up too. He's not able to be here, but we do have Alfred's certificate too that you'll take home with you. But thank y'all so much and congratulations. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Congratulations. And then our last scholar that is actually here, Sharonda Priester. Sharonda Priester. Sharonda just came in from her basketball game to be here today, and she was another scholar that was on every call, gave participation, and big shout out to her mom. Her mom said she wasn't having it. You're gonna be in that class. Thank you, Miss Jazzy. We appreciate you. Congratulations. I'm sorry. Congratulations. That concludes our program. If everybody would, if you're not a scholar, you can have a seat, but would everybody stand up? Give these young men and women a standing ovation. At this time, I know y'all are wondering what's next. So what's next? Our scholars should be able to tell you what's next. Because now they have us as mentors, as friends, as professionals, forever. That's what's next. They have our phone numbers. They have connection to our networks. They have our ear. We're here for you. But it's only if you apply it. Every mentoring relationship does not have to be formal. You have to pick up the phone and say, hey, what's going on this weekend, bro? Do y'all have any service projects coming up? Because what I would hope, especially for some of you older ones, is that you come back and you mentor. Does that make sense? For our younger ones, continue to come. Continue to come. This was our pilot program year. We learned some things, we backed off some things, we're gonna add some things, we're gonna shorten some things. So each year will be a little different. The content, the curriculum will always be there, but there'll be some things that we do a little bit different going forward. For our parents, what's next? I would hope that your youth have friends and that you would vouch for Bro Mentor and you would tell that family you need to get them involved. You need to sign them up. I would hope that you go back to your jobs and you say, do we have a grants? Do we have a grants program? Do we have a program that gives? I would hope that you mention Brothers Restoring Urban Hope because we are a 501c3 and this is how we live. What's next for our supporters? I would hope that you continue to mentor and advocate on behalf of every youth, on behalf of every family, on behalf of everyone that is affiliated with Brothers Restoring Urban Hope. What's next for our staff? We start again tomorrow.
Sir. Sir.
Thank y'all so much, and congratulations to all of our scholars. Thank y'all.